When I saw this new Gingham gallery paper that is launching in July, I thought it would make perfect baby paper, especially this Barely Blush color. I still have lots of baby photos to scrapbook of my daughter, and I thought it would be a nice soft color palette. So I went looking for photos and printed a few off. And once I did that, I realized that I had an issue. And that was that a couple of these two particularly, have a lot of black and just dark colors in them. I was wearing black here. We have like a gray headboard and gray duvet. So it's all very dark. Even little Frankie is in there. You can see his little eyebrows and his little snout just curled up in there. And so I don't want this darkness to clash with my photos. Sometimes your photos can be like too yellow or too dark. And so I thought maybe today we will try and tackle this issue, see how we can fix it, and still make these dark photos work with this light, bright paper. My go-to strategy is to add more dark other places on the page. So what I'm gonna do first is bring in a layer. My pink layer is 11 1/4, and so I'm bringing in a black cardstock layer that is 11 1/2. Now I do want to map my photos, and I was debating if I should go light. I have white and then some more of the Barely Blush cardstock. So let's see what these two look like. If you haven't picked up any of the new 2026 to 2028 in color cardstock, the Heirloom Boutique coordinated cardstock pack has 2 of each color, which is actually what I picked up because I haven't picked up the packs that have the 12 sheets of a single color yet. And it's a great way to get a little sampling of the colors. So I feel like the white is a little bit better than the pink. The pink just completely blends into the background. Let's see if we flip it over to the light side. This is the 2-tone cardstock, which is nice because you have a light side and a dark side. I feel like that's slightly better, but not really. Doesn't do a whole lot. So I don't think I want to bring in black on my mats because we have black in the photos. I want to bring in black on other places. So what if we did like a double mat? This is something I do quite often because I need some white next to my photo to add definition and make it pop. And then what if we went with the pink around it? I think that could work. Now I know the pink layer is going to blend in a bit on our background, but I do want to add some white die cuts layered on the background, so I think it should still work out. I'm gonna have to overlap her head just a little bit because I want to do this sort of cascade of photos down my page. I'm going to use this new set, the Scalloped Blooms die, because it has these awesome circles on it. Half of them are just straight and half have the little piercing detail, kind of like a stitching detail. And I think I want to put these underneath, which will help kind of make those photo mats pop a little bit. I could also ink the very edge of them if I want them to stand out more. We'll see what this looks like. Sometimes I hesitate to start inking edges because then I want to ink every edge in sight. Brings in some more contrast in here, and it's going to be the perfect home for my clusters. And you can see this mat here where we have other colors underneath. That pink really stands out. Here it's fading off more into the background. Same with this bottom portion here too. I do draw the line at double matting. I don't think I want to triple mat these. So I think what we'll do is I'm going to bring in my hybrid ink here, and I'm just going to take it right on the very edge. Now I can't set this right back down on my page because I'm going to end up getting little ink lines everywhere. So I'll set it off to the side, let it dry before I bring these onto my page. But I think that will be just enough, yes, to add some definition for us. And I'm not going to do this paper because it has the black cardstock border. And you know what? I am going to do all 3 of my photo mats though. All right, I am just putting adhesive onto the back here. The back side of these papers has another kind of plaid pattern. This is the front side that I'm using, and then this is the back side. A little bit smaller, a little bit more delicate, not quite as bold, but both really pretty. If you haven't seen a lot with the in colors yet, they are still fairly new, but the creative design team is doing a collab this week, and we're all sharing ideas with the colors, and we're going to use them in different ways. So I will make sure to link that playlist down below and also at the end of today's video. I still need to let my photos dry just a little bit more. I picked them up to check and they're still transferring. So let's talk leaves and flowers. I have gone ahead and die cut some. So we have this one here, and then we have a little bit more delicate one. This one, I really love this. And those are both from this set. This is the Petals of Beauty dies. And these dies are actually in the last chance section right now on like a really good sale. So if you don't have them yet, you might want them. They're a great floral. And the leaves I have cut out of Sage cardstock. That's a close to my heart color because I was trying to get as close as I could to her little outfit color here. It's kind of like a minty green, and I didn't really have anything that was super close. So this sage color was kind of as close as I could get, and I think it's pretty good. It's not exact, but it's close enough. Whenever I'm bringing in different colors, I try and make sure I have it on the page somewhere. So I have pink here. Our skin is reading quite pink in these photos. She does have some pink on her outfit, but it's a little bit darker pink. And so then I thought the green we could bring in our greenery for the flowers. For the actual flowers, I have this. This is from that same Petals of Beauty die set. And it has kind of like an artsy layer to it and then a solid layer. And these do not perfectly line up. They're meant to kind of hang over the edge a little bit and look a little bit like loose and free flowing. And you might notice, oh, my camera does not like that at all. You might notice this has a sheen to it. I'm going to show you the paper that comes from. So this is the In Color Pearlized paper. You get one sheet of each of the new In Colors. And you can see I've been chopping into this because it's just so pretty. Gives you this gorgeous shine. And I thought this would be so fun for my flowers. So I could do a layer in the shimmer and then a layer in the regular cardstock in the Barely Blush. And I did actually cut it on the light side. So this is the light side of the Barely Blush. And then this is the dark side, which really matches the shimmer paper. Sorry, my camera does not like that. It does not want to focus. Maybe if we bring in one of these, it will do better. No, still doesn't like it. So basically, I have cut a bunch of the small flowers and the large flowers and then the coordinating layers. One is in cardstock, one is in shimmer paper, and I just alternated them back and forth. So to stick these together, I'm just going to bring in some glue. And the easiest way is just kind of line them up the way you want them. They are not going to line up perfectly. So you can kind of rotate it until you find something that you like. Then I'm just going to put some glue right in that center. And then I'll just set that aside and let it dry. Same with this one. I found that this little, kind of like little V in here, I found it lined up with that really nicely, and I decided that's the way I wanted to layer it, but I think you could layer it so many different ways, just offset it however you want. Okay, now I have all my different pieces here prepped. I'm ready to put together, still keeping in mind I want to bring in more of the black. I don't want to just do the border, but we'll have to see as we build what's going to suit this page. Okay, the ink is no longer transferring on my hand, so we should be safe. I'm just going to try not to drag it around on my background. I'll put this fairly high up here, just kind of going for like a cascade down the page, and I want to make sure I don't cover up her sweet little pinky sticking out there. This was very soon after she was born, I think about 15 days or something like that. It's pretty soon after she was born. We'll start with this, and then I can always move things around. See how far out I want my scallops. I really love these. They're such a good size for scrapbooking. You could definitely use them for cards too, but as soon as I saw them, I knew I had to have them because they're such a nice big size. I had kind of thought I might want it down this bottom side, but this is pretty close to the bottom now that I trimmed down my paper, so I'm thinking I should maybe have it come up this way. So whenever it comes to building my clusters, I like to place my flowers first. It's a little inconvenient because you have to lift the flowers to tuck things under, but I just find I like figuring out placement better this way. And basically what I'm going to do with the smaller flower and the larger flower is if one has the cardstock layer on top and the shimmer paper underneath, then I'll just alternate the one that's beside it. And then we have our leaf layers. That's really going to fill things out here for us. Sometimes you got to place stuff and take it away and put it back and just kind of figure out what you need. I love how these leaves have a bit of a bend to them, so they can kind of wrap around things. I feel like this one's a little too big, so I just want to kind of make it a bit smaller. And then we'll do the same thing over on this side. Another piece of it over here. Now at this point, I want to bring in my title, and this is another point where I'm going to bring in a lot of black. I debated on what I wanted to do for my title, but I ended up doing a print then cut with a regular cut. So up here I have the word baby cut out of silver glitter paper. You really can't replicate that with a print then cut. And then this is flat. It is a print then cut title. And in case you're wanting to know fonts, this is Ask Why. I believe that is from Creative Fabrica. And then this one is Adelaide, which is a Cricut font. I decided I'm gonna buy a couple Cricut fonts that I like and just use over and over again. I have to decide if I want the leaf like underneath of it or kind of coming over top. I think underneath looks nice. And this will also help me space everything else out. Now I decided to go with some printed journaling because I always have more to say than I think I do. And I was debating on how I wanted to add it, like if I wanted to put it in a scallop circle and have that go up there. Then I was looking at this set again, and this has like some little banner pieces, and I thought, wouldn't that be cute? It has like a scallop as well, so it should go along nicely with that. So I was thinking, do like a little banner up in the corner with my journaling on it, maybe add like a little flower or something, so it just ties in with everything else. But I wrote too much. So now I think what I'm gonna have to do is some partial die cutting so that I can fit all of this on one thing. It'll still fit on my page okay, it just doesn't fit my die that I wanted to use. So I'm going to rough cut this out so that it's easier to work with. And then I'm gonna line up my die at the bottom here because I wanna make sure I get that correct, how far away it is. I'm gonna try and center my journaling and make this as straight as I can. And then I'm gonna grab some washi tape here. Washi tape this down at the bottom. Now the important part when I'm die cutting this is I cannot just put my plate over top of the whole thing and run it through. I need to place my plate like down here so that it only cuts to about here. These Big Shot plates have this bevel, and so usually where this tapers, you see that it kind of tapers off here, you don't get like a clean cut there. So kind of where that bevel starts is where it's going to stop cutting. So I'm going to put it about there, and then when I run it through, this straight line will not cut because there's no pressure on it. And then I can readjust my die. Okay, here is what my die cutting looks like. I'm just going to pull that washi tape off so you can see it cut all the way around the bottom and the sides. And now I could, if I wanted to, just take my trimmer because this doesn't have any detail. I could put this in my trimmer and just cut, and then cut across the top. That would work too. You don't get that nice sort of beveled edge that you get with a die. So I'm thinking I might just do it this way. Line up my die. I want it fairly close to the top of my word. And then I want to make sure that the cut edge is lined up where I've already cut. I can kind of feel it with my fingers there. And then we can washi tape that in. I'm going to washi tape it on the other side too, just to be safe. All right, let's see how we did. Ooh, pretty good. This is like one of those times where you like hold your breath and just hope that it turned out the way you wanted it to. Now I do have one more flower and a little piece of this leaf. Might not be so easy to get that underneath. Might have to kind of like layer it under instead of over top since this is so full. I would have preferred to put this over top, but my words are more important. The story is more important, so I'm going to put it up here. My story is really just about how I was surprised by how much she slept as a newborn. I really thought she would be awake a little bit more through the day, and just how we spent so much time cuddling in bed. Frankie cuddled with us. And, you know, after the craziness of birth and stuff, it was really nice to have that downtime, just cuddling and spending time together. Now this is bringing in another point of black, and I had been considering maybe stamping over here. I have this set from my stash that's from close to my heart called Here's the Story. And there's a couple that are good in here. I Want to Remember This, A Favorite Memory. And I thought, oh, that would be perfect. And I could just kind of readjust and stamp right here. But it is kind of right across from this big block. And so now I'm thinking, you know what, that's not great balance. I might be better off to make this a little bit smaller, kind of tuck it in a little bit farther so we have a little bit more space through here. And I could either stamp it down here or just forget about it altogether. Sometimes what I'll do when I'm not sure what I want to do, I will stamp on a scrap piece of paper and then just try it out. Audition it, if you will, in different spots and see how it works. Now this is on white. It'd be even better if I stamped this on like a piece of vellum or something so I could see the color through. But it does kind of give me the idea. And then this circle would have to come out farther so that there's enough room to stamp right on that circle. The plus about stamping on the circle is if I mess it up, it's easy fix. I do think I like the balance of it down in this corner better, and giving up here just a little bit more space and not having everything so crunched together. So I think that's what I'm going to do, but I'm going to wait until I stick everything else on, and that way I know exactly where my leaves are going to be and I don't end up putting it in the wrong spot. Okay, I have my hybrid ink pad here and I have my stamp. Everything is stuck down. I'm using the plaid in the background to help me line it up. And I did not push hard on that because I didn't want to accidentally go too far one way and smudge it. Slightly lighter than I would like, but I could have used my stamp positioner to be able to restamp it, but there's no way I'm going to go and try and line it up for a second stamping, not when it's right on my background. If it was on a layer, sure, but this will do. I have some rhinestone basic jewels here, and I am just going to add a few little clusters and bring that silver bling from the glitter paper into the rest of the project. Just a little bit of twinkle here and there, anywhere where I kind of see a little gap, a little opportunity for some twinkle. I usually like to do like triangles, even if they're not like a perfect triangle, kind of in little triangles. All right, I think that is good. Hopefully I did a good job balancing out that black in my photos. We still have some very dark photos and it really does draw your eye in, but I think with the other black touches, the border, my stamping down here, hopefully it kind of makes it all look like it's supposed to go together instead of being awkward and not really flowing. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. And then go check out this playlist with the other Creative Design Team videos on it. And I will see you again soon with another video.